Welcome to Off the Hanger, the fashion podcast where we delve deep into our guests' wardrobes, finding out their favourite fashion pieces and the stories behind them. This week's guest is Coralie Rose, a casting director and founder of Road Casting. But before we get started, if I could ask that you maybe like, subscribe, follow, comment, leave a rating or a review, any of those good things, that would be much appreciated. I hope you enjoy this episode. Coralie, thank you so much for being part of Off the Hanger. It is lovely to chat with you this afternoon. I'm super excited to have a rummage through your wardrobe because you've got such an interesting job, and I wonder how much your fashion impacts your role as a casting director.
Well, I'm so happy to be here. Since you sent me the questions, I've had it all going in my head, and I realise I've got so much to say, and I'm so pleased someone's asking. It's really nice to be able to talk about these things.
And did you always love fashion? Were you really into fashion as a child?
You know, I don't know that I would have said that I do love fashion. I find like fashion a little bit, if it's a funny thing. I think I like clothes. I think I like design. I like jewellery. I like the way that clothes make you feel, that it can affect your mood, that it can bring you joy, that it can be like an armour or a uniform. I think I like that aspect of dressing more than I like fashion as an industry. Sorry for the air quotes.
No, that's absolutely fine. I think I agree. I often feel, even as a stylist, I don't really fit in the sort of fashion, air quotes, kind of circles, but I love to be involved with clothes and, as you say, design and jewellery and that kind of creative aspect of it rather than the more industry aspect of it.
You know, I guess I've always been on the perimeters of it. I've got quite a few friends who work in fashion. My mum's a jewellery designer, so it's always been around me. But like you, I think I went through a phase of not feeling like I fitted in, and then I sort of transcended that, and I don't really care about fitting in. I know that I'm a consumer. You know, I do buy clothes and I'm really interested, but I think it's been helped by my friends who work in fashion, and a lot of them, you know, a couple of them are buyers or work in the industry, and I love seeing their edits and their take on fashion, and like just watching their blogs or their industry or their Instagram stories and stuff. Just, it really excites me, like a kind of insider's point of view.
It is fascinating. And do you have an earliest childhood memory? Is there a piece from your childhood that you remember really loving?
God, it's funny. I do have a couple of memories. I remember my parents dressing me in little smock dresses, which I just love. I find really traditional and British and cute, and I'm mixed race, and the idea of sort of little curly haired me in this smock dress, it just really appeals to me. I also used to wear a lot of Oshkosh, like the dungarees, and I've got really cute pictures of me as a little girl wearing Oshkosh dungarees, like holding a teddy. I've got really vivid memories of this necklace that I used to wear and this swimsuit that I wore on holiday. But most importantly, it's these little red Wellington boots that I wore often naked just with these boots.
It's a great look. What would you say is the oldest piece in your wardrobe? Are you somebody who tends to hang on to things, or do you have quite a lot of movement going through your wardrobe?
I guess I do hold on to things. I definitely have some T-shirts that are very old. I've got bits from my mum's wardrobe that I've still got. Yeah, I do have some old pieces. I've got lots of vintage pieces as well. A lot of them are older than me, even.
And do you know which would be the oldest? What would you say is the oldest thing?
I don't know really what's the oldest. I mean, I have these shoes here, which are my mum's old Manolos, and they're definitely older than me. I've had them re-heeled, and I do wear them, and I love them. And, you know, the fact that she bought them when she was younger than I am now, and I've still got them. It's a real testament to the craftsmanship and how well they're made and how durable they are. And yeah, I love them.
The quality of them. And because they're a classic as well, I think an animal print, a snake print never dates, it never goes out of fashion. You can always just pop it into your wardrobe, whether that's with neutrals, a bold colour, they just work. What a great thing to have. Do you remember how much she might have paid for them?
Oh, it's a really good question. I'm going to ask her. I don't know how much she paid for them, but I imagine they weren't cheap. And I think the shop was off Sloane Street. My mother's from DRC and from Belgium, and she moved here and started working at Joseph back in the day. Joseph really was very kind to my mum and sort of took a bit of a shine to her. And so she was working in his shop. And I guess she was shopping in the area and she got these.
They're amazing. And the fact that they are still being worn means they've definitely had their price per wear.
Exactly.
What's the piece in your wardrobe that gets the most compliments?
I don't know what gets the most compliments. I think often my trainers, I do have quite a big collection of trainers. My sister works for Adidas and she has for about 15 years. So I've got lots of cool Adidas, but I have no exclusivity. So I also have lots of other brands. Lately, I've been wearing this like fitted pair of really baggy, I bought them in a size too big, pair of COS like wool blend trousers and a Massimo Dutti cardigan, a bit similar to this. And when I wear that, everyone's like, oh wow, you're fit, you look so good. And I'm like, oh really? It's just like wearing a tracksuit for me because the trousers are so baggy. And I've kind of gone off wearing sportswear or leggings during the day. I think after pandemic, I just don't want to wear that sort of stuff unless I'm doing exercise, you know. But this has the same comfort level, but feels like quite smart and put together in a way. So it's the perfect blend for me.
And I think a lot of the high street actually moved towards that post-pandemic. They recognised that what we wanted was comfort because we'd all got so comfortable during those very dark days sitting in our houses. But then we were back in the real world and we were back going outside and seeing other people. So we wanted to have something that blended that smartness and that being a little bit more put together, but with that level of comfort.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I think it's really nice to have options that work for everything. It's funny, like what I was saying about clothes, I use them to affect my mood. And the thing that I've been doing all winter, which I'm really enjoying, it's such a silly thing, but I wear my yoga leggings under my clothes and it's kept me so warm and so cozy. And it means I do go to yoga more regularly. And it's like having this little secret. It's like, yeah, I'm all smart on the outside, but underneath, I'm ready to go, ready for action.
I'm such a fan of that. I'd put a reel up the other day on Instagram where I was wearing this really beautiful kind of fitted print dress. And then I had like little ankle boots on. And then I lifted up the dress to show that I was still in my Gymshark leggings because they're so comfortable and they're so much better than tights. And I just, I'd rather be in those and have that extra layer of warmth and be able to wear my dresses year round than just go, oh, my dresses are only for the warmer months.
Yeah, and it's such a fun little thing. It reminds me of like when I was a teenager and the cool kids used to come in and have their shorts under their school stuff, like the sporty people. So there's something about my like inner teenager that's really been into that this winter.
What's the most expensive piece you own? You don't have to share how much. You can if you want to. But what would you say is the piece that's cost you the most?
I think I've definitely got some expensive jewellery. But I was thinking about it. Sorry, I'm just going to grab it.
Yeah, of course.
Like I said, I think I've got some expensive jewellery. But I think one of the pieces that's most expensive, only because it's so tiny, is this Hermes swimsuit, which was the most money I'd ever spent on a swimsuit, considering it's like a tiny piece of fabric and you're not going to wear it all year round in this country anyway. It felt like a real investment when I bought it and it felt very grown up. It's definitely swimsuit for a woman of a certain age, which I am now. And it's made from the most incredible fabric that really holds you, gives you support, and it feels really luxurious. So even though cost per wear isn't that great, when I wear it, it makes me feel great.
think that's a key thing, actually. We talk a lot about how confidence is great for improving our mood and making us, feel more confident. But actually, it's also that thing of giving you a sense of achievement. I think when you do invest in a piece that does feel very grown up and, like quite an aspirational thing, like a luxury brand swimsuit, I think it gives you a sense of achievement as well as giving you that boost of confidence and making you feel happy when you wear it.
Yeah, and it's a classic. It's a classic cut. They remake that every year, every season in different colors. And I know that I'm going to be able to keep wearing that. And yeah, I've got itsy bitsy tiny bikinis and like dental floss things, but this is like proper.
Exactly. It feels very luxurious, very premium. If one day you get invited to go on a mega yacht, you can wear that with a big hat and fabulous sunglasses and you'll fit right in.
Fingers crossed, Emma.
We can but hope. What's the newest addition in your wardrobe?
The newest addition is this Casablanca skirt, which I love crocheted. I love the buttons. I can't wait to wear it. I'm going to Mexico, to Oaxaca for a friend's birthday, and then I'm going to Miami. It's definitely going to be in my suitcase. And it comes, I bought this little matching bag to go with it, which I absolutely love.
Oh my gosh, both of those pieces are just so fun. I really love those. The colours are fabulous. It's not a brand I'm familiar with. Where are they from?
Well, actually, I just spoke out of turn. I didn't buy it. I was gifted it by the owner, Sharaf. He's a Moroccan designer, and he's actually got a fashion show this afternoon in Paris, and he's become a dear friend of mine, and I just love all his pieces. He makes beautiful silk shirts. I have one that I just treasure, and I've worn and worn and worn and worn. It's beautiful, and this was a birthday present actually, and he knows me so well. I'm so excited, and I literally can't wait to get my legs out and wear it.
Bit of a tan, it's going to look absolutely gorgeous. I really enjoy that with fashion, though, that you can share new brands with people. So it's like you have little hidden secrets of going, oh my goodness, I found this brand and it's so good. And when you share it with somebody, it's like, you might not have heard of them, but have a look because they're brilliant. And I love that you kind of pass this information on with these recommendations. Now, are you quite sentimental when it comes to the pieces in your wardrobe?
Do you know, when I first thought about it, I thought, no, not at all. But actually, I know about myself that I have trouble letting go things. I'm a bit of a hoarder, and that includes clothes. What I'm most sentimental about, actually, is the clothes that I've lost. The ones that I've left at a girlfriend's house, that I accidentally dropped, that have been borrowed. And I was thinking about this shirt that was my father's that had some beautiful crochet. I think it was Mexican. I'm not sure where it was from, but it was a beautiful shirt that's been in my wardrobe for years. And I tried to dig it out this morning and I've realized it's gone, and gutted, because I think I took it to a dry cleaners and I think I forgot to pick up, and it's completely my fault. Yeah, and I'm quite sad about that, and I realise it had huge sentimental value. Anyway, I'm remembering the piece, and I'm sure I've got a photo of it somewhere, but it's made me realise I am more sentimental, and I do attach value to these items.
I've never thought of it that way before, about the pieces that we lose. There's definitely things in my wardrobe that at the time I got rid of thinking that it was a great idea. And then I still think of them and I still lust after them and go, oh, why did I get rid of that? That was such a good thing. Why did I not just hang on to that? But then in the same breath, I do have to be realistic about the amount of things that I can keep.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I've given things away over the years, or taken them to charity shops, or not been bothered about things. And I'm like, oh, I wish I kept that. Sometimes they become collector's pieces. Sometimes they come back round in fashion. But, I think we have to edit what we have, unless you've got a huge house or storage, which I don't. We do have to let go of things and make space for new things. to come in.
Exactly. I think we've got rid of them for a reason if it's been an intentional thing. Obviously, in your case, yours unfortunately wasn't an intentional thing. But I think for the majority of pieces, it is at that moment you decide, actually, no, this isn't who I am anymore. This doesn't fit, or this isn't right for me. I'm going to pass it on. But then sometimes it does just come round and bite you. And you think, oh, I shouldn't have done that. What's the piece in your wardrobe that most sums you up?
I think probably gold jewelry. I wear quite a lot of gold jewelry, quite a lot of pearls. As I mentioned, my mother is a jeweler. She's had a business, it's called Monget. She used to have a shop in Kensington. So every Christmas and birthday, I'd always get a beautiful piece of jewelry. And so I'm really into it. And I wear ankle bracelets. I've got loads of rings and bracelets. And so that's something that I think defines me quite a bit. And also maybe the combination sort of like downtown, uptown, or like a bit of rough with smooth, mixing sort of like high fashion pieces with vintage pieces with streetwear. I quite like that combination. And like I say, a mix of preppy. Yeah, that's a way that I quite like to define myself.
I love that. I think that sounds fabulous. And I think because it comes from your mum, because it's kind of something that's been passed down to you, I think that's really beautiful. And have you got a lot of those pieces still that you were gifted as a child?
Yeah, I do. I mean, like the sentimental clothing, there's a couple of pieces of jewelry that I've lost or earrings that have fallen out. And I think about them like they're ex-boyfriends, like I really do. It's awful. I have huge regret about being careless with them or, letting them go or, it's really weird. Those are the ones I've lost, but I do still have lots of amazing pieces. Too much to wear at once, but I love all my jewelry.
But you've got a lot of choice. And the good thing about jewelry is it doesn't take up much space, but it can really make or break an outfit.
Yeah, exactly. I could be wearing, all high street or secondhand clothes, but know that my jewelry is the business.
Now, are you somebody who ever has a fashion faux pas or a wardrobe malfunction? Basically, I'm a bit of a disaster, and I just use this section of the podcast to make myself feel better that I'm not the only one.
I don't believe for a second that you're a disaster.
Oh, I am.
I don't believe
deceiving.
I think, that it's quite harsh to say that about ourselves. Like, sometimes we're in a rush. We have to get dressed in the dark, or the clothes that we want has a stain on it. And I know for a fact that if I leave the house in an outfit that I don't like, it can ruin my day. So I'm really fickle about it. And I know the power that clothes have. So because I know how much it affects me, I try not to judge myself. I try and be more compassionate to myself and to other people as I see them, because it can be also like what you can afford. Or sometimes I'm traveling and I've got a really small suitcase and, I wouldn't have what I want to wear, and you just have to wear something. And actually you can feel, oh, this is not right. It's not appropriate. I feel less than. So I've had to work really hard on those feelings, because I think it's BS, to be honest. I don't think there is like a fashion faux pas. But for me, the thing that cringes me out a bit is I'd never want anyone to think that I'd spent too much time thinking about it, that it was too matchy or too overdone. I just want to retain this kind of casual element, like laissez-faire. Not that I've thought about it too much.
That effortless kind of chic look. I think if you are somebody who can pull that off, I think is just so incredible. That really laid back, effortless, just natural style. I think it's something that so many people aspire to be.
For myself, I wouldn't want to feel like I'm a bit try hard. I respect it in other people, and I can really admire someone's outfit, or if someone looks really well put together. But on myself, I don't know why. I'm just like a little bit, I'll sort of grunge it up or take one piece off at the last minute.
Now, you mentioned your love of trainers. Are you a heels fan as well? Do you have a favourite pair of shoes, or is your favourite pair of shoes a pair of trainers?
I'm more of a flat shoe person, even though I'm not tall. I just feel like I run around all day, and I like being comfortable. And I'm very lucky that my friend Natalie Lee Sang, she started a company called Taurus and Leia, and she makes these beautiful shoes that have this patented technology. I don't know if you can see it here, but it's like cushioned. These shoes are so comfortable that you can run around in all day. So I think these are some of my favorite. And she actually called them the Coco, which is my nickname. So they're kind of named after me, which is really special.
They're fabulous. I love the heel on those as well. It's such an interesting shape. And that is the Holy Grail. A beautiful heeled shoe that's actually comfortable at the same time.
Can wear them all day. They're amazing.
Now, is there a wardrobe item that you're lusting after? Something that if you could have it irrespective of practicality or cost, you would love to own?
It's a bit cliched, but I'd really like a Birkin bag or a Chanel 2.55.
Nice. You see, give the answer, and I will never, ever discount it. I think it's such a valid answer. I think they are right up there as the pinnacle of bags. And I think everyone would love to own one of those. I think they're just so great.
Yeah, I think it's also a good investment. I don't think I'd ever consider getting a fake one because I don't think I'd be able to feel authentically myself with it. But I think it's more of a fantasy piece. You know, realistically, if I was to save enough money to buy one, I'd probably spend that money on something more practical. But it's like a fantasy, and it's nice to have fantasies, especially when we're talking about fashion.
Exactly. I often look at all of the couture catwalks and imagine myself mincing round in one of those fabulous dresses. I don't know where I'm going or who I think I am, but it's the fantasy element of it, that kind of idea of one day I'd get to wear one of these beautiful pieces with all that craftsmanship.
Yeah, it's really nice to have that dream. I'm all for it.
Now, to finish with, do you have a piece of fashion advice that you would have given to your younger self?
A close family friend of ours is a bricksmith start, and I met her when I was 14, and she told me to always be comfortable, because if you are comfortable, you look comfortable. And I never forgot it. And it's really true. Like if I'm tottering around in an outfit that I don't feel comfortable in, or, you know, a skirt that I'm having to pull down, or shoes that are uncomfortable, I therefore look uncomfortable. I'm not my best self. And so I think when I'm comfortable, I'm able to like be more there for other people. So it's the best piece of advice that I've received. I'm so grateful for it. And I'll pass that on.
It's such good advice. Thank you so much for sharing. It's been really, really lovely chatting with you. Thank you so much for showing us around the things of your wardrobe.
I love what you do, and I love listening to this podcast. I get so many ideas from the people that come on. So I'm very grateful to have been invited. Thank you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please remember to check out some more episodes of Off the Hanger.